Hello, everybody. My name is Taylor Carr, and this is Chit Chat Thursdays with Taylor. In this episode, I'll be interviewing my special guest, Rylin Rodgers. What can you tell us about yourself?
Wow, that's a great question. So my current role is as the policy director for the Association of University Centers on Disabilities, which is a national not-for-profit based here in the Washington, D.C. area, and we represent centers in every state and territory that do work in the disability space. I identify as a person with a disability. I'm dyslexic. I also identify as what's known as a family leader in the disability community. I have two young adult children who have grown up with complex disabilities. Mm-hmm. Also the spouse of a person with a disability. My husband has acquired a traumatic brain injury in the time that we've been married. So in our family, we like to say that we're all in around disability issues. Yes. And it's been my honor to get to bring my lived experience and connections around the country in terms of people with lived experience to the policy work here in Washington. Immediately before coming to Washington, I had the pleasure of being the training director for a LEND program in the state of Indiana. LENDs are types of programs that are members of AUCD. So I get to have that sort of firsthand knowledge about what happens in the state and bring that to Washington. So a lot of pieces to who I am, but lucky for me, they all fit together in terms of the work I get to do and the passion I have for the work.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't know you did LEND. I did LEND too. So that's
yeah,
awesome.
I was a LEND trainee, and then I was LEND family faculty, and then I became training director. So I really enjoyed my time in LEND.
Well, that is awesome. How did you start getting involved in AUCD?
Yeah, so my first interactions with AUCD was through LEND. I joined our local cohort as a family trainee. I knew a little bit about the national level work that AUCD did because I have been doing grassroots level work around healthcare for people with disabilities. This was the time before the ACA was passed, and I'm very aware that our healthcare system wasn't working well for people with disabilities, and many of us with disabilities had the label of somebody with a pre-existing condition and might not have access to healthcare, or certainly had discriminatory rates based on our disability status. So that led me to be really connected and with what was happening in that space. So I knew about AUCD a little bit then, but my time as a trainee let me learn a lot more. Let me come to DC to their conference. I actually applied for a trainee scholarship, which was a great chance for me to be able to afford to be at their conference. As my professional roles grew at my home center, my connections to AUCD grew.
Well, that is fantastic. You were also in LEND. How did your experience with LEND shape the person you are now?
That's such a good question, because I do think about my LEND training and that leadership focus of training being helpful and being able to take a leadership role in the disability space and in the policy space. But I also think about it as part of lots of different systems that work together to help me grow as a professional and as a person and as an advocate. So, and I think that's kind of a nice way to think about LEND. It's interdisciplinary. So it really lets you think about what are you learning in LEND, what else is happening in other systems that you're involved in. I was very involved in other advocacy around Title V in states, other family leadership advocacy. So there was lots of things that sort of all fit together. And the nice thing about LEND and AUCD is it's a big, broad tent. And so it let lots of the pieces of things I care about fit together well.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Chit Chat Thursdays with Taylor. Please look forward to the next episode coming soon. This is Taylor Carley signing out.